Hey, what's up everybody? Bushel Billy here on July the 10th. And a lot of phone calls coming in, guys concerned that the corn hasn't tasseled yet. Now, typically through here we have several fields, a good third to half of our fields in full tassel, and that's certainly not the case this year. And what's important to remember is corn doesn't develop based on the calendar. Corn develops based on heat units, growing degree units, we'll call it. So this spring was especially cool, and if we go back and we look at the actual daytime highs for this spring and look at the average high temperatures for the area, we ran below average on daytime highs until May 22nd. So what I did is I went back and calculated the growing degree units off of an April 22nd planting versus a May 22nd planting. Now there's 30 days between those two plantings, and on average in western Ohio, corn will develop 25 days worth in that 30-day span. That will have enough heat units that we get 25 days of growth between April 22nd and May 22nd. This year, we only got 12 days of growth and development in that same 30-day window. That's just how cool the spring was. And even though it's been a scorcher the last 2 weeks and been extremely hot and the corn is trying to catch up, it did not do a whole lot of growing during the month of May. So even though we may have planted April 22nd corn a full month ahead of our May 22nd corn, it actually only had physiologically a 12-day head start. So when we extrapolate that out going forward, we're just now starting to catch up on our growing degree units versus the 5-year average, which puts our tassel dates for 112-day corn out somewhere around July the 20th, another 10 days away. So even though it's been extremely hot now, we got to keep in mind how slow the corn developed this spring and throughout May. And in fact, if you go back and look at the month of April, there is no difference between an April 7th planting and an April 22nd planting as far as development. And I can show you fields. This side of the field was an April 7th planting and this side of the field was an April 22nd planting. And they're both at the same leaf stage, which proves out the math that we didn't have any real accumulation of growing degree units in the month of April this year. So it's nothing to panic at. In fact, it may be a blessing because there's been areas of the state under drought stress that are needing rain. And with this high temperature and low moisture, we don't necessarily want to be throwing pollen right now anyways. So the reason our fields aren't tasseled right now is we're still recovering from being behind in the month of May. We're closing the gap awfully fast, but we're looking at a tassel date somewhere around the 20th of July instead of the 10th of July this year, which I think should work out to our benefit if we catch some rain showers and a cool front in the meantime to help with the pollination. So if you are worried about the development of your corn, not a big deal. It's doing what it's naturally and genetically inclined to do. We just have to remember that corn doesn't know what the date is on the calendar. Corn's just going by the sun. So that's what we got today.